What a game. What a game. Game four in the finals in the books. The Warriors pull it off thanks to an amazing Steph Curry performance. 42 points tonight, 10 rebounds, 7 of 14 from threes. I mean, he was just huge. He was huge. Um, for the longest time, it didn't look good for the Warriors. I thought, they were up, I think, right after the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, they started getting some turnovers, and Boston went up, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Boston's going to dominate the fourth. This is the end of the Warriors, and um, it was over like the last 6 or 7 minutes. The Warriors just totally just took over. Um, they were very good defensively. Obviously, Steph Curry on offense was clutch. Klay Thompson did some big threes. Defensively, I mean, they were just. I thought Klay played really good defensively. Draymond played really good. I mean, everybody. Wiggins had some key rebounds. Um, I said it. Whoever's gonna bring the intensity is gonna win it. And I thought tonight the Warriors were the aggressors. Um, Boston, Boston was not as didn't play with as much intensity as they did in Game Three. The Warriors were much more aggressive tonight, and all you gotta do is look at a few stats. Okay, rebounding, the Warriors won the rebound battle by 10, and then points in the paint, I think the Warriors won 38-32. So both those things uh, give you a clear indication that we saw a different Warriors team tonight and a different Boston team. Um, those are completely flip flop from Game Three, right? Boston out rebounded Golden State by more than 10, and they had like 50 something point in the paint and just totally dominated the Warriors in the paint. And I don't know if it was, I don't know if it was the profanities that the Boston crowd was yelling at Draymond that just got that whole Warriors team fired up, or the fact it was a do or die game, or it wasn't do or die, but if you're down 3-1, it's tough to come back. So, but the Warriors, they clamped down today, and especially in that fourth quarter. Steve Kerr had some key timeouts. I thought his rotation was really good. I thought Gary Payton was really good defensively. Andrew Wiggins, 16 rebounds. But the key thing with this game, beside the hustle stats I mentioned, which was the rebounds and the points in the paint, is the way Boston's playing Steph Curry. The way Boston's playing Steph Curry is essentially when he's coming off a pick and roll, he's coming off that screen. The big guy is not coming up, and the reason he's not coming up is because he doesn't want to expose their team to a 4-on-3. So essentially, if you got two guys coming up on Steph, on the back end, it's a 4 against 3. That's usually how the Warriors get Klay so open. They get Jordan Poole so open. That's how Draymond gets in that pocket, and he becomes a really good facilitator. Draymond had 9 points, 8 assists tonight. 9 rebounds, 8 assists, but he did very little scoring, and he even got benched in the fourth quarter. So he wasn't great on offense. He was very good on defense, but so essentially the way Boston's playing Steph is they're saying, okay, look, we're gonna make it as tough as we can with two guys, with one guy, and we're gonna keep the big guy back a little bit so that we don't get killed in the paint. But we're just gonna make it as tough as we can with one guy, essentially, with one guy fighting through the screen, and Steph is just killing them. Like I said, 7 of 14 from threes. He's just shredding them apart, and that's one of the reasons why the others for Golden State. Everybody's talking about, well, Steph's got to do it all, but one of the reasons he has to do it all is because Boston is making Steph beat them. Essentially, they're saying we're gonna wear him down, and in the course of a 7-game series, we hope that Steph's gonna be tired enough that we're gonna be able to pull away. Like, he's not gonna be able to average 30, 35, 40, 45 points this whole series. So we're gonna make Steph beat us, but we're not gonna let the Klay Thompsons of the world get off. We're not gonna let Draymond Green just pass the ball around. We're not gonna let Andrew Wiggins with just open lanes and open buckets in a lane. We're not gonna let Kevon Looney get dunks and Jordan Poole to go to the rim. So all those things have been taken out. We'll say for a good, like for the majority, Boston's been able to contain the other guys. But because they're playing Steph the way they are and drop coverage, what it's called. Um, I mean, he's getting whatever he wants on that court, because it's either one on one against the big, um, or he's just coming off that screen for a three, just wide open. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to be Ime Udoka right now because he's got a big decision to make, which is how are you gonna play Steph? If I'm him, honestly, I keep doing what they're doing, be as aggressive as you can, and not because you saw in the end. I mean, there was one play where they trapped Steph in the fourth, coming off that screen. He immediately gave it up and gave it to Draymond in the pocket, and Draymond passed it to Looney for a dunk under the rim. So that's what happens. And so, yeah, I don't know what Boston's going to do, how they're going to adjust to that, but I'm worried for Boston because, well, now, obviously the Warriors, it's a 3-game series now. The Warriors have 2 games at home. And I honestly feel like the Warriors have another gear. I feel like we haven't seen the best of Clay. I thought Andrew Wiggins, I think I said it, 16 rebounds tonight. I mean, he was huge on the rebounds and all that. But we haven't seen the best of Clay. We haven't seen the best of Jordan Poole. We haven't seen the best of Draymond Green. I thought Looney was big tonight. Huge defensively, huge rebounding wise. Gary Payton defensively was huge. Bielika's minute were And then I'm trying to think of the other guy who came off the bench. I can't think of him. But, oh yeah, Otto Porter. Actually, they started Otto Porter with a switch, and he wasn't that effective. Um, but I got a feeling the Warriors got another gear, and they play much better at home. But Boston hasn't lost the back-to-back. So I think they gotta like their chances in Golden State. They gotta believe they can win it. But Boston was the team of the fourth quarter, and tonight they just, yeah. I mean, they started the fourth quarter great, and then I thought, again, I'll say it again, Steve Kerr had some great timeouts because I felt like the crowd was about to get going. Every time he felt like the Boston Garden got going, he just called timeout and tried to quiet him down. So I thought that was big. Jason Tatum didn't have a really good game. I think he was 8 of 23. He shot the 3 ball well, but those mid range jump shots were tough. Yeah, I mean, but the Warriors played much more physically and much more intensely in this game. They didn't allow Boston to just drive on the right hand to the right all the time and get in the paint and get easy buckets and then get inside and kick it out for 3. I mean, Boston still shot 40% from 3, so they shot the 3 ball really well, but they just didn't. They didn't get in the paint, and they didn't get all those rebounds, and so just completely turnaround game. And I mean, Steph was incredible. I can't say that enough. So, and then as you guys know, my X factor I talked about him, Robert Williams. He played more tonight. He played 31 minutes, I think, or 33, something like that, and he had a big impact again. But yeah, I'm worried. I mean, I saw him in the fourth quarter. I feel like he was. I don't think I've seen him limp that much this whole series, and obviously there was only 1 day rest. I'll be 2 days rest for Game 5, so maybe that'll help. But he's the X factor for Boston. If that guy was 100% healthy, I would pick Boston. But I just feel like the Warriors got another gear, and I wouldn't be surprised if they. I think it's gonna go 7, but I got a feeling they're gonna blow out Boston in Game 5, and I think Boston's gonna win in Game 6 barely, and then Game 7. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the Warriors lost to Game 7 of the Cavs in I think 2016, so anything can happen. But Boston is in that Cavaliers team. I mean, offensively they're not that, so they got to be. It's tough because it feels like for Boston, it's like they got to play more physical, but it's kind of like on defense, it's pick your poison. On offense, they're kind of limited. I think the more talented team are the Warriors. but Boston has found a way to have a higher intensity because they got guys like Marcus Smart, and they found a way to have that edge on defense and just be the aggressors. And I just don't know if that's going to be enough in these last 3 games. But I think the Warriors, I've said it before the series started, I think Boston are a better team, but I think the Warriors have a better potential. And I think they're going to start clicking. I think you're seeing certain signs that are telling me that the Warriors are starting to click. One stat I thought that was very alarming at halftime. I was worried. I thought the Warriors were done going into the fourth, especially in the early part of the fourth. They did not look good. Steph Curry has not been good in the fourth quarter, and I thought he was about to have another meltdown because with the turnovers, and then he just went off. So that was impressive, but yeah, I mean Boston like limited the Warriors. That's what I was gonna say. Boston limited the Warriors to 7 assists in the first half. That is not Golden State basketball. They did not look themselves on offense. Everything seems hard, and I get that Boston's an elite team, but I mean that if you looked at this game, this was played. You know, this is at the pace. This is the perfect pace for Boston to play at, and I thought they had this game, and somehow the Warriors found a way to win. I mean that's experience, that's championship, DNA. I'm worried for Boston. I mean, I picked the Warriors. I want the Warriors to win, but I want a 7-game series. And yeah, I mean, to lose like that in the fourth quarter when the fourth quarter has been your quarter this whole series, this whole playoffs, in front of a crowd like that, that's tough. And I don't know. Like I said, I think Steve Kerr has a lot of adjustments he can make. There's a lot of things the Warriors can do better. What they talked a lot about the game for Boston is they were too stagnant on offense, which I agree with. But they just shot a lot of threes in the fourth quarter, and when they're falling, great. When they're not falling, they're done. Boston's done, and I think those threes. Boston's not a great 3-point shooting team, so I think they're gonna fall less and less, especially as the series winds down and guys get tired. Legs get tired. It gets harder to hit those threes, and games get more intense. It's hard to get that space. It's harder to, yeah. But again, Boston can raise their physicality, and they are the bigger team, so we'll see. But I just got a feeling that the Warriors are going to hit their stride. I really thought Boston had the Warriors on the ropes tonight in the fourth quarter, and I thought they were going to pull it off. I really did, and to let the Warriors get away from the Boston Garden, reclaim home advantage, and get away with the win. I mean, I said it before the series. It's a pick'em series. I am loving this. Like, I'm loving this. This is big time basketball. Reminds me of the '90s. It is so physical. They're fighting for every scrap. And then Steph Curry finally got his big moment in the NBA Finals. So if the Warriors win, he's definitely going to get the MVP. But man. It's good. And these last 3 games are going to be a war. I mean, they're going to be a war. I cannot wait. I know there's 2 days off, games on Monday, but I'm just trying to think of what can Boston do to turn the series around, because I know it's 2-2 and they haven't lost two straight games in the playoffs, so they're going to respond. But to me, the better team is Golden State. They have the more talent. And I'm just seeing, even Jordan Poole tonight, he only played, I think, 21, 24 minutes. But when he's on the court, he's starting to become more and more dangerous. Klay's starting to become more and more dangerous. So, the thing is, when you have a great defense like that and the team gets to see you over and over and over, eventually what happens is you run out of adjustments. I mean, you can't, both teams know each other. You can't really make any more adjustments. And, you just got to be really aggressive. And it's the team usually that has the most experience that's going to make the right plays. And I just feel like the Warriors are going to make the plays down the stretch and execute down the stretch. And defensively, you could tell like the Warriors tonight just executed on the rebounding end, just in their defensive coverages. They're just much better than in Game 3, and they were much better too than in Game 1. In Game 2, they played better. I thought they relaxed in Game 3. Yeah, I'm trying to think of for Boston what kind of adjustments they can make, what kind of response they can have, but yeah, I'm really leaning for Golden State right now. But again, I think it's gonna go 7 games. I think it's gonna go 7 games, and I'm really excited for it to go 7 games. I mean, we are lucky to be watching these finals right now. Like this is the height, the cream of the crop in terms of basketball. So, man, this is, whew, just, I mean, we're seeing guys just fighting like dogs, and even Klay Thompson, like, I mean, he's gotten a lot of crap in this series, and everybody's saying he's slowing down and all that, but I thought he played 41 minutes. I thought his defense tonight on Jaylen Brown at times, especially in the fourth quarter, and it was clutch. I mean, there was a few possessions earlier in the game where I was like, man, Klay, you can't let Jaylen Brown just get those easy buckets in the lane. But, yeah, in the fourth quarter, there was none of that. Kevon Looney was huge. Even Draymond, I didn't think Draymond was as bad as he was. I think offensively he's having trouble, but he still had the 8 assists. I think one thing that really helped for the Warriors, I felt like, was when Jordan Poole handled the ball and Steph Curry's playing off the ball a little bit. I think they need to do more of that. They need to get back to Golden State basketball where they're moving more. I know Boston's switching everything, but I still think there's enough mismatches to be found. And the other thing is, man, Boston can't play Peyton Pritchard anymore. They can't play Daniel Theis anymore. They can't play Pritchard anymore. They really got to, the only guy coming off the bench I can think of are Derek White and Grant Williams. Those are the 2 guys that got to come off the bench. They got to limit that rotation to 7 because Peyton Pritchard, man, just not getting it done. Daniel Theis not getting it done. Yeah, the rotation. And I think the Warriors are going to have to limit it to 8 because I don't know, Bjelica, he has some moments, but he also, he's just not. But, yeah, I mean, Jaylen Brown was pretty good tonight. I can't remember exactly how his fourth quarter was, but I don't remember him in the fourth very much. And I don't remember Marcus Smart's stat line, but Marcus Smart was just hustling all over the place. I know Tatum was 8 of 23 from the field. I thought he didn't shoot the ball well. Horford had 12 points, so he was pretty good offensively. Robert Williams did his thing on the rebounding end, but yeah, that knee worries me because he had a big limp. So, anyways, I cannot wait till the rest of the series. But just, my parting ways is congrats to Steph Curry. I mean, what a just all-time performance. And you could tell, I mean, he was angry from the get-go. There wasn't much, usually Steph kind of, when he hits threes and stuff, he has like that joyous, and he's just like, I can't think of the word, but he's just very joyous, and he's kind of he's very hyped up with the crowd, and it's more of a positive energy. Tonight it just felt like it was more like an angry Steph. It was just every time he made a big bucket, it was just like, damn, like he was in the zone, like. He wanted to send a message tonight, and he sent it. But again, it's only Game 4. There's 3 more games. There's going to have to be a lot more heroes for one of these teams to win it all. But, man, I think the Warriors took it. I said whoever would gain Game 4 is going to win the series. And, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. The best is yet to come. Stay tuned. Keep watching. And, I hope you guys really enjoy these NBA Finals. I think we're really lucky because it's a really, really close series. And, I mean, like I said, pick 'em series. That's the way you gotta love your playoffs. Physical, can go either way. Stars on both sides, defense on both sides, great coaching on both sides. It's a very even matchup. So, anyways, all right, bye, guys. Enjoy your weekend.